from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, May 21st. So today we do have the moon in Gemini going void, of course, at 6:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be locking into the moon's place of power in Cancer energy at 11:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the transition from Gemini energy to Cancer energy, we move out of the mental plane, we move out of wanting to be extroverted, to be stimulated by external forces, we move inward. We want to quiet the realm. We want to revert to what is old, tried, tested, and true in Cancer energy. We are focused a lot on just our comfortability, on feeling safe and secure and stable. A lot of that in our emotional needs, but a lot of that also in reorganizing and restructuring our home and our family dynamic. There is a lot of energy shifting here today because as we kind of are sitting with the moon in Gemini, the sun will be moving into Gemini energy. We're at the final degrees of Taurus energy because, of course, we are starting Gemini season. So the sun moves into Gemini energy and then the moon says, okay, I'm going to go. I got to drop into the heart space because there's enough pressure in that head space with the sun being in the Gemini energy. If you haven't listened to the astro forecast, I'm going to recommend you do that. If you haven't downloaded your e-guide, I'm going to recommend you do that. If you haven't listened to your May zodiac forecast, they're 50% off now. I'm going to recommend you do that. We still have a lot of energy, really changing things up here in this final full week of May. So there's a lot of comings and goings, let's say. Now there are 10 different aspects. 7 of them are going to involve the moon. Right out of the gate, we have the moon in Gemini really pushing our thirst for knowledge, for information, for details, for answers. Sextiling, which is a beautiful energy, with Chiron, the wounded healer. So this is going to illuminate for us where it is that we're coming up with some solutions, where it is that we're pushing ourselves to kind of think differently about ourselves, about what's possible, about what we want, what we need, what we desire, and where it is that in the past we had some blockages, some challenges, some limiting beliefs really come up and really prevent us from moving forward. We've successfully overcome those particular thoughts and emotions, and we are actively pursuing how it is that we are going to make this change, make this transformation in moving forward. The moon then semi-squares the true node, which does suggest that we have a little bit of confusion on what the next logical, practical step may be. That true node is our soul path, our destiny point, as semi-square is a lot of confusion, a lot of tension, a lot of doubts, a lot of insecurities. Of course, we are rapidly processing new thoughts, new emotions when it comes to where it is that we want to go from here. But a lot of that rapid processing is bringing up a little bit more questions than we potentially have answers. 3:09 a.m., again, Eastern Standard Time, is when the sun will move out of that Taurus energy and move into Gemini energy, kicking off Gemini season. So we're definitely going to feel a lot of pressure in the head. If you haven't listened to this week's Ascension forecast, I'm going to recommend you do that so that you understand the kind of week that we're about to move into and the physical symptoms that we are going to experience due to the ever-changing energies. The moon then makes an interaction with Uranus. Uranus, the great awakener, likes to shake things up, likes to give us aha moments, epiphanies on where it is that we have to kind of break free from the past, where it is that we have to actively be making moves in order to start building and creating our future. Now, this is a little bit of an awkward interaction, which means that we are acting as the observer on the choice point, the crossroads that we actually have available to us. And there may be some confusion around which way we should go or what we're actually feeling or whether or not we're actually cutting the cord and leaving some past attachments and elements behind. But again, there is a lot of confusion necessary in order for clarity to take place. And we have a lot going on in our inner realm that's just shaking us up to new levels of awareness. The moon is then going to semi-square, which again is a little bit of a tension point, with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, who is in this Taurus energy. Granted, Mercury now in its throne now the ruler of Gemini season. There's a lot of power there, but again, still not out of his post shadow period, which means that our heart and our head, we're not on the same page. We are thinking very differently from the way that we are actually feeling. And a lot of the times when we go ahead and we try to communicate our thoughts and our feelings, it's not coming out well. Our actions are not lining up with our words. Our head is not aligning with our heart space. And of course, we need the heart and the head to be in agreement before we can go ahead and actually engage the physical body to take action in our physical realm. Reminder, we're not in a time of action. There's no fire in the cosmos. There will not be for a little bit. Well, technically, we have Mars just shifting into Leo energy, but he's stunted out by the overabundance of the Earth energy that we're still sitting in. Again, very much still under the influence of the new moon in Taurus. So to start a brand new air season, well, there's an overabundance of Earth means there's no action, there's no movement, we're not going anywhere. Our inner realms are very rapid, very alive and well, but physically speaking, in our external realm, we're not making very much action, very many moves. So then we have a beautiful dynamic taking place. The sun, fresh in this Gemini energy, is going to trine, which is a harmonizing vibration, with Pluto, the great transformer himself, who is retrograde at a 0 degree in Aquarius energy. We get some air on air action here, and this is why it's a beautiful thing. Why? Because we're waking up. We're seeing things differently. That's what this week is all about. We are tapping into new ideas, new, I'm going to say thoughts, new resources. We're piecing things together. It is a time for us to come out of our shells a little bit. That Gemini energy, that air energy stimulates conversation, really kind of piques our interest into new topics and themes. And realistically, we have a lot of questions that we're seeking answers to, and those answers are going to help us be well informed in order to make the choices and decisions that we're currently kind of on the fence about. That, of course, is going to help us move forward and advance a little bit more closely to our goals. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a blur because Pluto, of course, is retrograde. So that's an internalized looking back struggle. Mercury, the ruler of the season, the ruler of this, that, you know, the sun is currently in right now. Well, we're still in a retrograde technically because we're still in that fog. We're still looking back, coming into this present moment. We're in this present moment. We're looking forward, but we don't know what to do. So we look back. So there's still a lot of reflection going on, whether we want to, you know, acknowledge that or not. So what this is kind of doing for us is it's allowing us to tap into the past, maybe past situations, past experiences. Maybe we're seeing where it is that we can pull from our past experiences into the present moment to help us be well informed, to make decisions, to move forward. Maybe we are, you know, reminding ourselves of a certain lesson that we learned, certain skills, talents that we had that we haven't used in a while. Maybe we are reminded of a certain conversation, a memory blip. Whatever the case may be, there's some kind of connection from our past experiences that we're going to have an aha moment that we're going to bring into the present moment to help us kind of pave the way into the future path that we're actually looking to pursue. This particular energy is, I'm not even going to say heavy or weighted because it's a trine. It's a beautiful energy. We're having aha moments. Our ability to kind of cut the crap with the negative outlook, the negative narrative, the not very important aspects in our life right now. This is a good vibe, and we will be moving towards, not that I want to get ahead of myself too much, but on the 22nd, we have the sun and Mars sextiling with each other, which is going to be a huge burst of energy. And so this particular sun and Pluto element is kind of building towards the raw energy that we're going to be tapping into when the sun and Mars sextile. So that's going to kind of put us in a position where we are able to clearly identify new passions, new excitement, new desire, and piece together some of the elements of the past that Pluto is offering us an opportunity to kind of reframe and bring into the here and now, restructure and use in a beneficial way. So just after the sun and Pluto trine, we have a beautiful interaction between the moon and Pluto. So this is kind of revealing to us where it is that we're having new aha moments, new ideas connect, new conversation spark, new inspiration spark, new questions for us to ask. And again, that Plutonian energy likes to peel back the layers of a topic and a theme. So emotionally speaking, we're very curious. We're looking for outside answers and validation and stimulus. But Pluto is on the inside doing a deep dive in the psyche, kind of allowing our outside realm trigger something deep within us that will reveal to us a new level of awareness on what it is that we actually want to pursue, as far as new ideas, excitement, goals, dreams, visions, path moving forward is concerned. Mars, about an hour later, decides to have a very harmonious interaction with Saturn, the Lord of Karma. So here's the thing. Mars is just fresh in this Leo energy. If you haven't listened to the Asha forecast, I'm going to recommend you do so. This is the only fire element that we have going on right now, but the fire element isn't able to move or initiate or start fresh or take the lead or assert action in the way that Mars would hope to have been able to move by now. So there is a little bit, I'm going to say, of a resistance for us to follow through and assert ourselves out in the physical realm. Saturn, he likes to give us a little bit of a reality check. And this is going to be kind of a good thing. Many of us might be agitated and frustrated by not being able to move as quickly as we would like in initiating new paths, new directions. But again, we're not supported in doing so at the moment. Saturn is kind of like saying to Mars, like, listen, I know that you're, in alignment with your heart. You got a new passion. You're really excited. I know you haven't been able to take action and make moves for a very long time, but here's the thing. I actually want you to succeed, which means that you need to kind of pull your shit together here, and you need to ground out, and you need to get in alignment. You need to fester all that energy up, but you need to manage it in a better way so that you don't burn yourself out and you actually get to your goal post. Because Mars energy, typically speaking, burns itself out long before ever seeing the actual end goal, end vision, end dream. And so Saturn's here like, okay, we know you want to build something new. We know you want to, go after new passions and happinesses and desire, but you got to do it in the right way. You want it to be long lasting. You want it to be stable. You want it to be safe and secure for you to build off of in years to come, which means that you kind of got to get inspired, but you got to hold that vision, hold that inspiration, hold that motivation, determination in a grounding energy so that you're acting in a logical, practical way, strategizing and making those calculated moves so that you don't end up in failure. So it is a good vibe, but we kind of get a reality check on, I can't wait to do this, but it's just not time yet. Patience, again, is not a virtue that many of us were born with, but we're really going to have to exercise some patience until we're gifted with the green light go ahead to actually take action, which, again, please listen to the ascension forecast for this week if you haven't already, but that action point won't be until we enter into June. The moon then squares off with Neptune. This is the last aspect that the moon in Gemini is going to make before going void, of course. And so the square is entering into the boxing ring. And here's the thing. Neptune, who's in its place of power in Pisces energy, is our higher self, our intuition, our inspiration, our creativity. Well, the moon in Gemini is so ego-based because it rules over the lower levels of our intellect and our heart space that the ego can only perceive a certain path, a certain plan based off of logic and practicality. You need a certain element of mysticism, of magic, of inspiration, of creativity to actually push the boundaries of what is possible. Sometimes we get ourselves locked in to thinking about the possibilities of the outcome based off of our current circumstances. That is incorrect. You need to dream a bigger dream beyond your current circumstances in order for you to see that there's a whole realm of possibility that awaits you if you were just to get out of your own damn way and reframe the narrative in your mind space. So emotionally speaking, we're going to be overwhelmed here. We're going to be a little bit frustrated and verklempt because, again, we want to take action, but we can't. We want all the answers, but we don't have them. We want a logical, practical plan, but we're not opening up the realm of possibility to have, wild card events happen. And so we can come to a certain situation where we just don't even want to think about it anymore, where we don't want to deal with life, where we just want to curl up in a ball, kind of sleep this off. But this is the point of confusion that needs to happen. And then the moon goes void. That's when things get kind of shaky, kind of unstable, where we question everything anyways. And then again, we come out of that mental plane, we drop into that heart space. We become very raw and real and vulnerable in that Cancer energy. We lock into that Cancer energy at 11:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then at 11:59 p.m., we have the moon fresh in Cancer energy interacting with Pluto. Why? Because Pluto is about to backtrack into Capricorn energy. Cancer energy, Capricorn energy sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. What we're getting right now is all the fears, all the doubts, all the insecurities rising up within us. We're terrified because we're on the cusp of making the changes and transformations that we've been kind of percolating on inside of us. But what happens is that Cancer energy that has us very attached to the past has us kind of like clammed up, if you will. We just curl up into a ball. We don't want to make any changes. Then we start kind of romanticizing our circumstances, trying to talk ourselves into just settling. And of course, Pluto, the planet of empowerment, he's not down with that. He is not down with us emotionally settling for the circumstances that we've been trying very hard to break free from. So we're going to be gifted with an opportunity, a choice point, a crossroads point, if you will, to understand that sometimes you have to charge forward, make the changes, make the transformations when you're standing in fear, when you're standing in uncertainty, when you're standing in confusion. It's okay to kind of feel both realms where you're afraid to let go of the past because you don't know what you're going to get launching yourself into new territory, but you're also scared shitless to stay in the current circumstances because you can't take it anymore. It's okay to feel both. The Plutonian energy is here to kind of remind us of the not so nice thoughts and feelings that we're having in our current circumstances so that we can at least identify that, yeah, I'm not feeling so safe, secure, stable. I'm not so sure about what I'm doing. I'm not so clear on where it is that where I want to go. But the Plutonian energy is saying, but I know I have to make this choice. I know I have to make this decision. I know I have to make this move. Sometimes doing the right thing is the scariest thing. And this is a true illumination on how those particular thoughts and energies get triggered within us when we are literally on the cusp, on the precipice of taking action and making the moves that we've been considering making for many, many moons now.